SEO this week, hey everyone. Clint Butler here, and welcome to 2018. I know it's crazy. I haven't done an SEO this week episode in quite some time, so I thought I'd bring this back alive, and nothing like the present to start. So we're doing on January 1st, 2018 with episode number 57. Get us back in the hang of things and a groove of doing the show. A couple things I like to add is I'm gonna start doing these live, like actual live presentations, so that people can come on if you want to. I can do site audits. You can ask me some questions, or we can just debate the articles and say whether you think it's true or not, or add your own insights to the articles and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a good opportunity to make SEO this week a little bit better for everybody in general. And help out the SEO community at large. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead, switch on the fancy lights in the background because I like those on better than not. Now we're going to share the screen. And we'll get the Hangouts to play with nice with us here. Share screen. Share screen. It's not going to do it. What the hell? I gotta love this. Is bull crap. Every other thing works but the shared screen. So we're just gonna have to wing it on this one. The wonders of technological advances of the world. Fuck you too, Google. Share screen. Do something. Bring up a pop-up. Be helpful. Nothing. It's not gonna do it. All right, no big deal. I'll just learn from this and move on. So the first article we're going to talk about is actually on a website called SEOsherpa.com. You can find the link inside of the show notes if you want to follow along to the post on Digitaleer. Just for the sake of this one to show, because I can't share the damn screen for some reason. But anyway, it's SEO Sherpas, how to find any email address, the complete list of tactics. It's actually a post I found back in October that I wanted to share with everyone and just never got around to. I did save it though because it's pretty good. The crux of the post is there's 17 ways that he's identified to help you find opportunities to do your link building and your link outreach. Mainly for us, if we're going to do guest post or like broken link building methods that Brian D teaches, something along those lines. You can use these methods to identify people inside of your market, your niche, or just sites that are good that you want to be linked on, and go ahead and get that interaction going on. So first one is the how to use email search operators, or 15 search operators. The main name plus email address, name plus contact. Name plus contact me. That will sometimes pop up some good stuff, provided it's on the website. So you can add the site operator to that too, email and contact, or James, or emails and contacts. So it's pretty good, interesting way to pull it off. Another one is a tool that he recommends is Datanize Insider is what it's called. It's a Chrome extension. So it allows you to go ahead and pop that up, and it'll bring up a whole bunch of information about the website that you're on. And in some cases, it'll actually throw up the website or the contact email out of the company details that it pulls up, which is pretty handy. Another thing you might be looking at is there's some other tools that do kind of the same thing, like Hunter IO, and then there's one here mentioned. I haven't never tried this one's called Cell Hack, and that checks public data sources for someone's email address. When you're running that, it might be something interesting or worthwhile to look up. Third is the option to target your newsletters and find their email address that way. So basically, what that means is, let's say you have a target, you want to get a link from, I don't know, let's go with Brian Dean just because he's on the top of mind right now. We want to email, I want to get a link from Brian Dean, and my guess is that Brian's probably hit up probably 300-400 times a day for backlinks from his posts, uh, or some kind of, hey, will you promote me to your list, those kind of offerings. He probably sees it a lot, right? So we want to kind of think of a new way to do new approach to that. So what we're going to do is look at signing up for his newsletter. And a lot of times, a lot of these bigger guru types, especially who have the kind of links that most of us really want, will provide you the email address for them. The example put in the post is James Schramko, Super Fast Business. He does reply to his emails. You can do the same thing with a lot of different other people. Andre Chaperone, he replies personally to his emails as well. And that's how you kind of start and build a relationship with them. So try that out. Just sign up some newsletters for your people. Pick someone, some crazy hard person it's just going to take for you a long time to get a link from, and try the email option out. I think you might actually enjoy it. If anything, you just get to meet the person in one way or another and start to establish some kind of relationship with them. Next is search your own email list. If you're like, I have a email list of buyers, people who've bought my services. I don't really collect emails for affiliate purposes. Maybe I could, but I have the newsletter for SEO this week as well. You can sign up to that and you can get notified when I remember to notify you of a new post for SEO this week or a new show. So look at yours, and maybe if you have a lot of people in there, you might just have some people that have some really good sites that are willing to link with you or link to you because you've established a relationship in some way, and that's a good way to do it as well. Find a domain owner's email address using Whois records. That's okay. So most times nowadays, a lot of the good or the bigger sites are hiding that information on Whois using privacy. So I'm not sure that would always be the most effective way, but is a way. Looking at Facebook is an obvious way. Google Plus is obvious. Twitter is obvious. You can also go to contact and about us pages. There's pretty obvious ways to do it. Look at advertising pages. Like if you have a advertise here section, maybe you don't necessarily want to advertise. You want to reach out, kind of establish a relationship with the owner or something like that. Maybe that's a good way to get into it. I won't say that that's a little bit harder to get to the actual decision maker person than it might sound. Those guys are designed to sell you on getting an ad placement, not connecting you to someone to ask for a backlink. So it might be a little bit harder there. Look at privacy pages. Privacy pages do have emails for the most part, but they're typically general. Even when I set them up for clients, we just created an info at email that maybe no one reads, if anybody reads at all, or you just kind of filter it out for spam and look for the occasional kind of reach out point. But for the most part, I'm not really a big fan of looking there just because I know that most of those are going to be fake anyway, or not even reviewed. Author bios, that's a good option, especially if the person's doing a lot of contacting or a lot of link building via guest post articles and such on his own or her own. Author bios could be a way to do it. Clearbit, I never tried Clearbit. Maybe something for you to look at. It's a Gmail or Outlook extension, similar to like Yesware. Basically, you just plug it in. It gives you all information, checks if it's right. find some more details about the person, find maybe their address, maybe even a little bit details about the company they're in, provided that that resource that is pulling from has that stuff. So that's a pretty cool one. Twitter, we already talked about. Let's see what else is in here. There's a bunch of them. There's 17. I think that's pretty much it. Well, yeah, there's LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a good one too. I will say, coming from a person who's done a lot of LinkedIn outreach, it's really a numbers game over there, because a lot of the people that they talk about how you should have a LinkedIn profile, but there ain't all that many people actually leveraging LinkedIn, especially for the building and establishing relationships with or business relationships beyond let's look for an employee or let's talk about my business. So you're going to find that it's a little bit harder to do for the most part. I did like using at one point LinkedIn groups to generate traffic. You find 10 or 15 of them about your group, and then you can kind of post in there. But LinkedIn put a thing where one group moderator, if they mark you as, or if they mark your message as spam, essentially it puts your article in spam in every group that you've been into. So if you find one, jack off who just doesn't want your post in there because he had a bad day or something, even if it's a good post, and he marks you or your domain as spam, every message that you put in the rest of your groups is going to come out as spam as well, and most likely that's not going to get approved and seen by people across the rest of the LinkedIn sphere. The next post we're looking at is, are no-follow links actually good for SEO? Here's what the crux of this article is. It's actually on SEMrush, and there is a great debate of whether or not no-follow works. And if you follow some of the people over at the Warrior Forum, I've seen some pretty interesting threads over there where people are just so adamant that no follow doesn't work that they'll call you a dumbass if you think that it does. And then there's other people that are so adamant that it does that it's newbies are getting a little bit mixed into this and kind of figuring out what is the truth of the matter. I will tell you that I have ranked pages using the description link inside of YouTube as the only backlink, which, as everyone knows, is a no-follow backlink. And I've ranked them just with just that one link. That could be in combination with the fact that it's a no-follow link on YouTube, for crying out loud, and it's really high authority. I know that link never got any traffic from that video. It was just the linking power. It was a product review, as a matter of fact. I did a product review video, and then I put the video on the page, and I put a link in there. So was it the video that ranked it or the no follow? I don't know. I haven't really tested that out. I will say, though, that I'm kind of in line with what SEMrush here is saying, is that no follow are a natural backlink for you to have for unless you're an SEO specifically going out and looking only for do follow backlinks, you're going to have a no follows in your backlink profile. And I think they do, in my opinion, I think they do play some value. How do we test this? I think we should set up some test pages, maybe 5 to 10, and then send some no follow backlinks. The easiest ones to find are obviously YouTube, maybe even some blog comments. You tested blog comments too at that point, but maybe some blog comments on some really decent blogs that actually are really good pages with ranking all on their own and stuff. Maybe a blog comment on Brian Dean's site, for example. I'm pretty sure he's running no follow over there, and see how that influences your ranking. In my opinion, I think they do. I think it's just the mention alone will improve your ranking. It's kind of like so it's there, but Google don't pay. Doesn't you mark it as no follow, so you tell Google don't pay attention to it, but Google's like, well, it's a link. You're meeting the term for what we need for the search result, so we're going to give you credit for it. I think that is what's happening. I think the juice flows through it, no follow or not, even though the party line over Google is that it doesn't. I don't think that I would have to say that it would be pretty hard pressed for me to say that all of those links have no value whatsoever. So if you look at high competition terms, especially the ones in here that they mentioned, the diet pills, backlinks, online degrees, those are high competition terms. One site there is ranking number one, 30%, 28% no follow, 31% no follow for the mortgage payment calculator, 21% for diet pills, 25% for online degrees, 23% for best fidget spinners, 31% for internet business. Now, if you look at that number, you're either of the assumption that 28% of the links just don't matter and don't count, or that the rest of those do follow links are just really that good that they're outbeating the rest of the competition for those terms. So again, I'm gonna analyze that you should have them to have that natural backlink profile, and then just be something to test. If you haven't tested anything before in SEO, this would be actually a really good test. Are they any good? Do they pass juice, or do they pass any ranking value whatsoever? That would be 3 good questions to ask. Next one is Google introduces the rich results in the structured data testing tool. Now, basically, if you don't know, the rich snippets sections, those are getting a lot more attention from Google. Featured snippets, the questions, those are all rich snippets. The knowledge data graph on the side, those are all rich snippet features. And then what the tool is doing now is just saying, yes, your page is eligible for it because you have the right stuff on it, or no, you don't. Essentially how it goes. But it'll also tell you the detected structured data that it's looking for. Some things that it points out now, according to his list, is recipes, jobs, movies, and courses. Now, as you know, Google Jobs is taking over there. They're trying to, move in on the Indeed. They saw that Indeed was just killing it over there on jobs. So they created Google Jobs. Recipes, pretty much everyone likes to do recipe stuff, so that would be pretty good to see if you're eligible for that one. And courses, and I have to look at the courses to see really how that works out. Is that like an internet marketing course, a college course, or Create Live, how to do Photoshop coding course, that kind of stuff? What are they going to apply to that? That would be interesting to know. Next is SEO Interactive. It's Google Marketing Attribution, finally explained. And if you don't know what this means, is Google Analytics has a tool called attribution. So, and then whoever the last click essentially is, it attributes that to organic search. That sales organic search, this sales from direct, this sales from referral, this sales from social networking. And there's a function in there that get really detailed about the reporting. And for the most part, it's kind of set at default for the last interaction attribution. So let's say you get someone from organic search, then later they find your ad because you're doing retargeting. And then later they get a referral because one of your buddies shared a backlink on a site that they just happen to read at the same time. And then finally they go in and look at your site directly by typing the URL. The only attribution that gets credit in last attribution is direct. Now, as Google, as far as they're concerned, they recommend that you actually use the time decay attribution if you haven't tried it at all. Basically, what that means is it sets up display, use a display ad, then they find you again in organic search, and then they see you again on Facebook, for example, and then they sign up for your email list, and then finally your email is the one that sells them. That is the time decay attribution, and that kind of how that works. There are there's linear, it kind of gives you the same credit all the way through for those, and then first interaction is good, especially if you're SEO type and your only focus is search engine optimization, but you happen to know that they have another agency that's doing Facebook ads, or they have another agency that's running Bing ads, and those guys are all saying, "Oh, look how good you're doing, or we're doing," and then your clients are looking at you like, "What are you doing?" And in truth, what is happening, could be happening, is you're generating organic traffic. They're getting a remarketing pixel, and now they're getting credit for that sale because that ad was the final closure, but you're the one that got that user there in the first place. remarketing is useless if you don't have the original traffic, right? So that's kind of where that goes. So first interaction attribution is actually pretty cool too. There's just a guideline on where to go to kind of turn that on. Obviously, there's way more to look at. If you're looking for a book on how to set up Google Analytics, do what I do. Follow this one. It's Google Analytics Breakthrough is what it's called, from zero to prospect. By Wiley. It's actually really good. There's a whole bunch of examples. You can kind of just go follow along here and set it up on your account and play with the new features. So check that out. Next site is tweakyourbiz.com. Is how can your online site show your brand's credibility and quality? I showed this one because there are going to be a lot of people in 2018 that are looking for new websites, or looking for increased conversions, and I think that the website, or when they're designing it, they're almost doing it as an afterthought. It's kind of a Me Too kind of thing. Everyone wants the big old huge header. Everyone wants to do the fancy video in the header. Everyone wants to click me now or click buy button kind of thing. And, honestly, in web design, I think all these websites just, frankly, they all look the same, and it's getting pretty boring. So I wanted to show you this one, not just because it'll give you some ideas to kind of do something different, and then use these guidelines as a base to why you should do them. So aesthetics, photo quality, balancing your images, your text, and your white space, user friendly, even easy navigation, mobile friendly. Dear God, if you don't have a mobile friendly website by now, then just shut down your website, because frankly, you're missing the boat. Or your marketing agency's completely failed you. So test your site. If it's not mobile friendly, fire your marketing agency and come hire me or someone else, because they just let you down. And then customer service and engagement points and stuff like that. All of this stuff is really, it's part of the branding process that you need to go through, and part of your SEO process, and part of your conversions process. When you're looking at sites, you want to make your site new and different. Go out there and find something that looks like what you enjoy, what you might engage with. Then kind of make those ideas how you would like to see your website, and then forget about you. Start thinking about what your audience is looking at. If you are a web design agency, find some of the top agencies that are selling web design. Go see what they're doing, because they might have a better handler on your audience than you do. At this point, SEOs, go find a better SEO agency and see what they did, and model that, versus getting emotionally involved in your website. I think being emotionally involved in your website is what kills 99% of the SEO web designer client relationship, because clients are so emotionally tied to that they think it does represent them, but more importantly, it represents the business. And if you're emotionally tied to it, you're not going to see the things that are working properly, and you're not going to see the things that aren't working. So I think that's something that you should consider when you're doing a website. Finally, we're going to close this out with a post on the website group.co.uk. It's how long does it take to rank in Google? It's an infographic. It's actually pretty good theory. I will say that I've seen basically where it's going is getting around to is, if you have a brand new domain, you're going to find that it takes significantly a lot longer to rank than if you don't. Which, in all honesty, is true, because if you're in a market that has SEO competition, you're competing with older domains because they've just been around longer. You're competing with domains with backlink profiles. Your brand name is brand new, doesn't have a backlink profile, and it's going to have already some established audience if they're worth their salt. So that's kind of, it's a little bit biased to say that this stuff has to be, but looking at the data here, they say how old the website is. The average age is 950 days for a brand new website, or for the websites in position 1. I think it's, you can balance that out is counteracting that argument by looking at how many of those search terms that they look at, how many of those search terms have the same website in it. You know, if the if Yelp is everywhere, then obviously they all have the same age. It's going to skew your data, right? Uh, so looking at that, looking at the top 20, only 22% of the pages, according to what they found, were created within a year. And what else is in here? How it took rank a page of Google, high domain authority, DA80, 50%, 5.7% of all study pages ranked in the top 1% within a year for at least one keyword. Honestly, if you're that low, you're probably doing something wrong. If it's at least one keyword, then maybe you're not doing the right keywords. Go out and do some long tail stuff and kind of buck the trends of those numbers, right? But I was again, I like to see how they kind of compile this. There's no indication of what keywords they looked at, the markets. Did they do any filtering of the domain names so that they're not looking at duplicate domains, all that stuff? But Ahrefs made it. They have a great deal of data over there, so I'm not discounting the value of this. I think it's safe. This is good to show to clients, especially if they're trying to start a new website in a very competitive niche. This will help you with the argument of how long it's going to be, especially if you're SEO like me. You're asking 15 to $3,000 a month for search engine optimization. You're going to need to justify why they're going to be doing that for 3 to 6 to 9 months. And this is just another thing to help. If you want to, you can look at Digitaleer, my site. Look at the homepage, scroll all the way down to the bottom. You see that video from Google. Mari is the one who did it before she quit, saying that a good SEO campaign that takes up to a year. That's a good white hat SEO campaign too. You can get a little bit trickier and do a little bit faster depending on your risk tolerance and stuff. But a good white hat campaign could take you up to a year, especially in some competitive terms. So um, I think this infographic and that video kind of tied together with the prepared response to how long they're going to have to pay for your services will position them better. And two, 2 months down the road, they're not going to be already on you about why am I not ranking for divorce attorney in LA already? So um, I should be number one by now. That's what you said I was going to be. You said you're going to give me number one. It's been 2 months now, and I'm only number 52. Well, sir, you have this brand new website. That's not what you said. Well, now you have something to kind of counter that and head that off at the past and set those expectations early in your relationship, so that you both know, client and SEO, that you have to work together, and you got to work together in the long term to knock this out. All right, I think that's it for SEO this week. Again, I apologize for this stupid no screen share thing. If you listen to the audio podcast after I pull this out, then you don't care. But I'll figure this out for the live stream next week. Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific is when I want to do these. So if you have any questions, now's a great time to ask. I have the panel set up here. Looking for new questions. See if you guys want to have anything to ask or want me to look at a website with you. That kind of stuff. We can do that. Otherwise, I think I'm gonna call it just for this time. Just because. Let me check the live pages, and obviously nothing's working right here, so let's be safe. That load up. Yeah, I don't see anything, so I think we're going to call it for this show. Again, Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific time is when I want to do this. Bring your questions, bring your websites. I try to post the show, the notes for the URLs, so you can look at the articles if you want to and have some questions about those as we go through, or you just want to debate the validity of of what's being said, it's always good to debate things. It's always good to come up with new ideas to test things. So that's basically what SEO is all about: is testing, ranking, make money, rinse, repeat. Test, rank, make money, rinse, repeat. And so I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you like this new version of SEO this week. And I hope you come next week with your websites. We do some site audits. Thank you.